Okay, so here's the pattern for the Easy Crochet dishcloth. Down here at the bottom, it starts off, gives you a legend, and then, you know, this is where you begin. So obviously we're going to begin right here. This oval, of course, is the chain. Anytime you see the little plus sign, that is your single crochet. And any single time you see a tall letter T, that is a half double crochet. Now in this pattern, you're going to see that what looks like V's, but what it is 2 half double crochets together, and they are connected in the same spot. So this means 2 half double crochets in the same stitch, and I will show you how to do that. And then of course the open arrow point here is the end. So if this is the beginning, the end should be up here. There it is, up here. Okay, so we're going to begin with a chain of 35, and then we're going to add one more, which will become the wall to start row 1. Now, before we begin, take a look. Row 1 here is single crochets all the way, and they're connected to the chain that are at the bottom. Row 2 is another set of single crochets that are connected to the single crochets below. Row 3, when we come up, here's where we chain. Row 3 is when we do the 2 half double crochets in the same stitch. Row 4 is single crochets. Row 5, half double crochets in the same stitch. Row 6, single crochets. So now, once we pass these 2 single crochet rows, here's the pattern. Every other, you're going to do half double crochets in the same stitch, single crochet, half double crochets in the same stitch, single crochet, half double. And so every odd row is going to be the half double crochets in the same stitch, and every even row is going to be the single crochets. That's just to help you. I also have a row counter to help me, but you don't need this little gadget. You can just get a pencil and write down which row you're on, or just count, tally, whatever it is you want to do. Okay, so also I want you to have 2 stitch markers. The 2 stitch markers are so you can keep your edges straight. We don't want to go in or out. We want to keep them straight. So make sure you have those at handy as well. Okay, so let's begin. We're going to start off with 35. All right, so I did 36 stitches here. So the next row is you're going to single crochet in the second stitch from the hook. So that's 1 and 2. So I'm going to go in, come up, and make a single crochet. As soon as you make a single crochet, stand your hook up and then put your stitch marker under that stitch. That will mark that this is the end or the beginning of this side. So this is how we keep the edges straight. Okay, so now I'm just going to single crochet all the way across. So I'm at the end of my first row, so I'm going to do my last stitch, single crochet, and that's the end. So take a look. This is 35 single crochets. If you flip it over, you can see your little chains and just count each one, and you see 35. I can't fit it all into the camera, but this is how wide our it's almost about the size of the paper, the 8.5 by 11 paper. So anyway, next, what does it say here? We're finished with row 1, and then now we need a chain 1 to begin row 2. That is the beginning of, that's how we get to the row 2. Chain 1, and then we're going to single crochet on top of every single crochet from the first row. Okay, so here we go. Chain 1, turn your work around, and then here's that first single crochet. See where the, I don't know if you can see it there. You have to turn this over because our stitches kind of lean on the other side toward the back. But there's that first chain. Oops, grabbed the wrong yarn. Oh, I'm all twisted. Here we go. Jeez. Right, here we go. So go into the very first single crochet and make a single crochet. And again, stand your hook up. There's that first stitch that you made. On this side, go ahead and put another stitch marker. So you have one on this end and you have one on this end. That's going to constantly keep you knowing where the beginning and where the end is. So continue making a single crochet on each stitch all the way across. Remember, when you're making the single crochet, you might want to tend to come down here to the bottom, but it's not. It's underneath that stitch. It's this little hole right here. When you separate it, it's this little hole here at the top. That's where you go in. Continue like this all the way into the end of row 2, and I'll meet you there. I'm down to the last 3 stitches on row 2. 1, 2, and how do I know that I'm not finished yet? Because thank goodness I placed a stitch marker here that lets me know that that was the last one on this row. So I take off the stitch marker. I go in right where the stitch marker was at. Oops, didn't grab it all. Let me try it again. There. And that's my last single crochet. Now, your project might tend to, twist like that because we're dealing with a different yarn. This is cotton. Once we get a good piece of the project finished, it'll stop curling. So make sure you try to keep it straight so that you're not messing up your work, okay? So anyway, we're finished with that row 2 all the way to the end. Okay, so now here's where it starts getting fun. Here it says to chain 2, and again, just like I taught you, you're going to chain 2 because now you're dealing with half double crochets, and 2 chains is about the same height as a half double crochet. We just can't chain 1. Chain 1 is for single crochets. So now we chain 2. 1, 2. Now you turn your work. Oh, come on. This is not working with me. Okay, there we go. So now, take a look at this. Here is that single crochet that is right here. See it? We're going to skip that one. And instead, on the second single crochet, we're going to put 2 half double crochets. So I'm going to skip this and go straight into here. And remember, half double crochet, you're going to yarn over before you go into the stitch. Come out, you should have 3 loops, and now just go through all 3 at the same time. When you do that, that is a half double crochet. So pause there for a moment, stand your hook up, and we need to go ahead and put a stitch marker right there, okay? Okay, so now we're going to put another half double crochet in that same spot. So stick it in there and half double crochet. So that's how you get that little, let me see if I can show you. Grab both. Here's where we skipped, and then here we have 2 half double crochets inside this same single crochet that was at the bottom. If the lighting could work here. Okay, so what do I do next? Twist this around. I'm telling you, this cotton yarn likes to twist. So what do? I'm going to skip right here. We're going to skip this single crochet, and we're going to do another 2 half double crochets in the second stitch. So skip this one and go. So we're going to come straight to here, but we're going to half double crochet. So yarn over, half double crochet like this, and another half double crochet in that same. That's how we do the little V's. Okay, just like that. Beautiful. So we follow the same pattern. We skip half double crochets in the next, or actually 2 half double crochets in the next. Just like that. That's the pattern. Again, we're going to continue doing half double crochets, but remember that we are skipping 1 stitch going into the next. Just like that. It just adds a cute little pattern. I'm sorry I'm moving too much. If I think I'm zoomed in too much. All right, skip half double crochet into the next. And inside the same stitch, half double crochet. Again, so you see the pattern? There should be 1 skipped in between each little V of half double crochets. All right, let's keep going till we get to the end of the row. Let me do 1 more, and then I'll meet you at the end. So skip, and in here we're going to put 2 half double crochets. Here's 1, and again in the same spot. And here's 2, and just like that. All right, I will see you when we get to the end. All right, I have 3 stitches left, and again you skip 1 and you do 2 half double crochets in that single crochet. So stick it in there. So that's 1, and in the same spot. Now the only thing is like, wait a minute, we still have this one left right here. What do? Well, according to the pattern, you have 2 double crochets inside that 1 single crochet. You should have 1 left over. So you just do 1 half double crochet inside that single crochet. So you don't need to put 2 in here because we're not increasing there. Okay, so yarn over, go inside that last single crochet from row 1 or row 2 there. And there we go. That's how we finish. So far, this is what it looks like. There we go. Okay, so now what do? We finished with row 3. This was row 3. Now I'm going to chain 1. And you're wondering, why am I chaining 1? Because this row 4 is nothing but single crochets all the way across. You're going to put a single crochet on top of this half double crochet, single crochet on top of, when we have this V, on top of this half double crochet, single crochet on top of this half double crochet. So you see, we still have the same amount of stitches even though we skipped, but the fact that we put 2 in here, we still have the same amount of stitches. It should be 35 all the way across. Okay, so chain 1. Oops, I'm not in the camera, so let me go back to the camera. So chain 1, flip your work. Okay, and then you're going to put a single crochet. So please pay attention. Your stitch, if you flip it over, you'll see your stitch there. You see him? Don't get confused. This is the bar that works with your half double crochet. You do not go underneath this. Okay, if you look closely, you can see the holes right underneath each stitch, and that's where you're going to single crochet, underneath those holes. Okay, so our very first one is right here. So come in here, single crochet, and as soon as you finish with the single crochet, stand your hook up so that you can see your stitch and replace your stitch marker. It keeps the edges straight. And it also lets you know where your last stitch is. Because as I go around, remember this right here is informing me on where my last stitch is. Okay, single crochet all the way around. So let me just do a couple, and then I will meet you at the end of the row. And again, remember, not here, it's here. Single crochet, single crochet. Remember, you know you're doing a good single crochet if you have 2 loops on your hook and you go through both. So that's how it's going to look. I'll see you at the end of this row. All right, I'm down to my last 3 stitches. So let me finish them so I can show you again one more time how to go to the next row. All right. Here we go. So take off your stitch marker there. All right, so there we go. This is what it looks like so far. If I flip it over, you can see the pretty little pattern of single crochet, single crochet. Then you have your half double, but in a V format. To me, it just looks like there's like little tiny stars design in the middle of each single crochet. So this is what it's going to look like over and over and over until you finish all of your rows. Cute pattern, love it. All right, how do I finish here? Well, according to this, what row are we on? 1, 2, 3, 4. So now we're on 5. We just finished the single crochet right here. So now we're up to 5. So remember, oops, I'm on 5 now. I should have kept count on that. What do? Every single time we get to an odd number, we always chain 2, and then we skip, put 2 half double crochets, skip, 2 half double crochets, skip, 2 half double crochet. So that's the pattern. Chain 2. Ooh. In the camera. Okay, we go. 1 and 2. Turn your work around. Lay it across that way. All right. We're going to skip and go straight into our half double crochet, the second one on the second single crochet there. Oh, I'm off the camera. Okay, stay on the camera. Come on. Here we go. Half double crochet in the same single crochet. What I did forget is to put my stitch marker back. So I grabbed my stitch marker. You can see that I've done 2 half double crochets on that very first one. That's where I am going to place my stitch marker. Gotta make sure to keep that there. To keep count. Remember, we gotta keep this edge straight. You don't want a wonky dishcloth. All right, skip half double crochet on this, 2 half double crochets in this next stitch. So that's 1. And 2. Whoa, pull that up, my hook came out. And we're going to continue with that pattern. Okay, skip, go into the next stitch, half double crochet, and then half double crochet in the same spot. Okay. skip, half double crochet, now there. I'm glad I did this. I want to see, look, I grabbed, oh, there it is, see? It, because of the yarn being all wonky, it started messing around with me. Please don't continue. If you feel something strange, pull out, smooth out your yarn, and then start all over again. Then to have a stitch or something that just doesn't look right, then you can see it later on when you're crocheting. You're like, here's an area where I messed up. So inside, I'm going to start all over again. There we go. Oh, that's much smoother, much better. At any time, do not be afraid to undo your work and start all over. It's better to catch it right then and there than to wait till you're 5 rows ahead and then you have to undo 5 rows. Okay, skip and continue. And you're going to continue with this pattern all the way down to the end of this row. And you're going to continue after that with the same pattern. Single crochet, then half double crochets, single crochets, and half double crochets. And that's it. There's nothing new. Everything else stays the same, and you're going to keep doing that all the way. Let's see. Let me grab a marker. So if we're counting by 2s, 11, then that's 12, then this is 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29. And then this is 30 and 31. So you have actually 31 rows to go all the way over. And then you're going to end up with a beautiful dishcloth with this pattern right here.